Okay, good morning to everyone. Good morning.
Good morning po, sir.
Okay, sige. So,
Morning po, sir.
okay, good morning. So, tama yan, nag-response kayo, no? So, it means my audio is loud and clear. So, that's why I need responses from you kasi that's the only way of checking if that is my voice is loud and clear. Okay, sige, let's proceed now to our discussion. So I post already on the screen. I share it on already on the screen. So this is regarding on the privacy. All right? Did you heard about privacy? Naturally. Maraming beses yun nang narinig ang privacy. So man natin ginagamit ang privacy. No? Sabi natin, usually the expression, sabi natin, oh, bigyan mo naman ako ng konting privacy kasi I need the private matters na gusto ko sa buhay ko, I need privacy. So, meron kang privacy na ini-expect, di ba? Pag sinabi natin privacy, gano'n. O kaya pag sinabi natin privacy, gusto mong magkaroon ng pribadong mga data na gusto mong itago ito, no? It could be a private. Para sa iyo, it could be a confidential. Di ba? Sinabi nating privacy, ano pa ba ang mga naiisip ninyo pag sinabi nating privacy? Sige, sagot ng kahit isang word. Hernandez. Hernandez. Kung walang microphone, i-type. I-type dito sa message. Hernandez, what is the word privacy meant for you? Ano ba sa tingin mo? In Tagalog, in English, Kahit one word lang. Sa iyong pananaw, what is a privacy? Hernandez. Tulog yata si Hernandez. I'm checking if you are really attending on the class. Ayana. Secret po. Privacy is a secret, sabi niya. Okay. Ayana. Ayana.
Yes po, sir.
Agregado. Sige, go ahead. Sige. Ayana. What do you mean by
Yes po.
privacy? Ano ibig sabihin ng para sa iyo? Ano ang privacy?
Privacy. Para sa akin po, yung privacy is yung private ng, kunyari po sa buhay niyo po, yung private
Kahit
part
ano,
kung saan hindi po nalalaman ng
private
iba.
part.
Ganun po.
Hindi nalalaman ng iba. Okay. Agregado. Sige, kahit one word lang ha. Okay naman. Agregado. Yeah. Naririnig kita. Naririnig ka namin. Sige. Okay. Sige. Almendras. Almendras.
Sir, personal po.
Personal. Privacy para sa kanya is a personal, no? Sunyas. Ano ba ang privacy? Sunyas?
Para saan po, boundaries po.
Ano?
Boundaries po.
Hindi ko na boundaries para sa kanya ay isang boundaries sa kanya yon, no? Bago.
Para po sa answer, it is something exclusive. Parang
okay.
limited lang po siya sa
Okay, exclusive and limited. Okay, naintindihan natin yan. Exclusive and limited. Pakibanigid. Banigid.
Hello po, sir. Rinig po.
Yes, dinig.
Para sa akin po, yung privacy is essential for the sake ng maraming tao. Kasi mabuti maganda yung tinatago mo, mas mabuting magkaroon ka ng privacy para sa gusto mo.
Okay. So, para sa kanya, it's essential. Importante, no? Kung meron ka man tinatago, it could be, you have to take it privately. May privacy ka. Yun ang para sa kanya. No? Cortez.
Yes po, sir.
Yes, Cortez.
Para naman po sa akin, sir, mahalaga po yung privacy. Kasi ito po yung isang bagay na meron tayo bilang tao.
Okay. Okay,
So,
kumbaga sa'yo. Sige, go ahead.
Po. Although pwede po natin
go ahead.
Although pwede po natin kontrolin kung ano po ba yung i-share natin sa public, kung ano po ba yung mga information na i-share natin sa kanila, mahalaga pa rin na meron tayong privacy para ma-determine natin kung ano ba yung mga natin, yung mga ano ba yung dapat na sa atin lang, ano ba yung may mga bagay po kasi na hindi maiintindihan ng iba at yung sarili lang po natin yung makakaintindi.
Okay, kumbaga ito ay may personal attachment sa atin, no? Kumbaga ito ay para sa isa ay mahalaga kasi naglalaan ka ng isang limitasyon, parang gano'n, no? Parang sinasabi ni Cortez. Now, how about Beato? Beato?
Para po sa akin, ang privacy po, mahalaga po.
Mahalaga.
Opo.
Mahalaga sa buhay mo yan. As in na mahalaga. Essential para sa buhay mo. Okay. Sige. Asilo.
Hello.
Asilo.
Para po sa akin yung privacy restriction po or security.
Okay. So it's a restrictions para kay Miss Asilo, no? About Carola. Carola?
For me, sir, privacy is also defined as confidentiality.
Confidentiality. Okay. Sige. So, Benitez, Jericho. Benitez? Andiyan ba si Benitez? Karunungan. Benitez, sige, go ahead. Yeah, Benitez. Okay, Benitez.
Dinig po ba?
Oh, yeah,
Dinig po ako, sir.
Jericho. Go
Okay,
ahead,
dinig na po ako, sir.
Oo.
Sir, sa akin, mahalaga po yung privacy po. Because para sa akin, yung privacy po is parang respect mo na rin po sa sarili mo. And then yung pag-respect na rin sa'yo ng mga taong nakapaligid sa'yo, sir.
Okay. Sige, tama,
Okay.
no? Si respeto, isang respeto siya, no? Na kinakailangan nating itibayin ng bawat isa sa atin, no? Kasi para sa kanya, yung privacy ay isang respeto. Karunungan.
Sir, para saan po? Freedom.
Freedom. Freedom. Para sa kanya, isang kalayaan. Ito ay magiging pananaw ng isang tao kung gusto niyang magkaroon ng private. Ito ay maaaring maisalin into a freedom, no? Okay, Azarias. Azarias.
Dinig po.
Yeah, dinig na dinig ka namin, Azarias.
Sir, para sa akin po, ang privacy po is peace.
Ano daw? Medyo hindi ko narinig yun, ah.
Peace po sa privacy.
Medyo choppy. Isang ano?
Kalayaan po, sir. Peace.
Kalayaan. Okay, peace. Sabi niya, no? Okay. So, Castellano. Castellano.
Dinig po, sir. Dinig po, sir.
Yeah, dinig. Castellano. Go ahead.
Ano po, sir? Mga specific essential things na kailangan mong i-confidential.
Specific essential. Okay. Sige. Gorgon. Sorry po.
Hello po.
Gorgon, yeah.
Para sa akin po, isa po siyang state of being free from public attention po.
Okay. State of being public attention. No? Okay. Tinignan ko kanina. Barbosa. Tawag ko na ba si Barbosa?
Hello po.
Yeah.
Sa akin po, ano po, for protection or security po na kailangan po natin ng privacy sa buhay natin.
Okay. So it's a protection para kay si Barbosa. Okay. Well, narinig natin ang lahat ng inyong definition, ang inyong pagkakaintindi into a privacy. Well, let's find out, no? Ano talaga ang privacy sa buhay ng isang IT personnel or sa isang IT related task or job na meron tayo, paano tayong magsasagawa ng isang privacy, no? So on this chapter, we have the right of privacy, what the basis of protecting personal privacy under the law, no? What are the sum of the laws that provide protection for the privacy of personal data and what are the associated ethical issues? No? Kasi sabi natin, ano ba yung mostly na binibigyan natin ng privacy, yung ating personal na informasyon. Ayaw nating mailagay ito sa very, tawag dito, very exposed thing, no? Gusto natin maitago natin to kasi mahirap na ang panahon. Mahirap na maraming gumagamit ng mga different informations and nako-clone tayo, for example. no? Ayaw nating magamit ang ating mga personal data. Okay, and there is associated ethical issues, no? Pagdating sa pag-aano nitong mga private data na to, itong privacy na ito. And what is identity theft, no? Sa pamamagitan ng mga identifications natin, nananakaw pa pala ito, no? Nagagamit sa masamang paraan. And that's why the aspect of being a computer tawag nito, knowledgeable and computer expert, ay po pwede tayong magkaroon ng mga data na manakaw, for example, no? And what techniques do identity thieves use, no? What are the various strategies for consumer profiling? And what are the associated ethical issues? What must organizations to do threat? Consumer data responsibility. That's why they found some, filtering of data. They put it into a certain applications on the program, restrictions of the program, confidentiality, some of the identification and the authentication implementation, no, in the program or in the devices. So possible, even on the hardware, on the software, you can relate, no, the privacy that you want to put, no, in the system in order to secure and to protect your data. Okay, now what are the various strategies? Ayan. Okay, what are the employers increasingly using workplace monitoring? Ano ba yung employers activities or concern nila pagdating sa ating trabaho? How our employers monitors the different data that we need to keep, no, or to make it private, because that could be a very confidential thing. What are the capabilities of advance of surveillance, no, technologies? So pinag-uusapan yung surveillance technologies. And what ethical issues do they raise? Okay, let's find out. In the privacy protection and the law, now we have the system collects and store key data from very interaction with customers, make better decisions. No? So that's why it collects, no, the different data. Sometimes, paano? Kasi nagbibigay ka ng personal information, and basically, the system collects that particular data. And many objects data collection policies in the government and business. So maraming gumagawa niya kasi that's the only thing to access. No, kailangan mag-register ka muna. Kailangan muna ng personal information. Pero sila ay liable, no, sa pagkikip ng data na yan. Otherwise, kaya nga there is a Privacy Act that we need to obtain in order to secure and to keep your data. Now, what are the key concerns of the internet users as a privacy? Okay, what are the top reasons why non-users still avoid the internet? Okay, and what are the reasonable limits must be get, no? And there is an historical perspective on the right to privacy. Okay, sabi dito, in the other country, there is a Fourth Amendment reasonable expectation of privacy. Okay. Now, in the information privacy, what is the definition of the privacy? That is the right to be alone. The right to be alone, wherein the most comprehensive of rights and the right most valued by free people. So, this is a right to be left alone, no? And there is an information privacy combination. There are two things, no? Communications privacy, wherein there is an ability to communicate with others without being monitored by other person or organizations. So dalawang bahagi ang ating privacy. Pwedeng sa communication and pwedeng sa data, no? Okay. In the data privacy, ability to limit the access to one's personal data by other individuals and the organizations in order to exercise a substantial degree of control, no, over the data and its use. So, maaring sa communication, because that is ability to communicate, you have to keep, no, those particular data that we communicate, no, by the other person. So it's in the form of a privacy, no? It's a private thing. Hindi dapat ito maibigay into, kaya nga sa batas natin, di ba, pag mayroong halimbawang narinig siya ng ganito, tapos bigla mong in-upload, bigla mo siyang nagkaroon ka ng mga copy ng scattered mo, pwede kang mahabla because of the communication privacy. Privacy natin yan, bakit mo inilabas into public? No? Ayan, nung ginawa mo yan, nagkaroon tuloy ng mga different informations ng mga data ko dahil dyan. No? And that could be one thing. It's a source. Nagiging source siya ng information privacy. Lalo na ang data, naturally, because that is ability to limit access of one personal data by other individual and organizations in order to exercise a substantial degree of control over the data and its use. Kaya hindi yan, once na ang data mo, ang personal data mo ay naipasok mo into registration, basically they are the one to secure and to protect the data. Kaya tinatanong nila, are you amenable into a data privacy act? If yes, kita mo magtutuloy yan. If no, hindi ka amenable, hindi magtutuloy, hindi ka i-register. Because that could be a certain thing to the only thing that to register using the online, no? May mga ganon. Privacy laws, application, and court rulings. Legislative acts passed over the 40 years must address invasion of the privacy by the government. No? It's sabihin natin, almost 70 to 80%, no? No protection of data privacy abuses by corporations. Okay? No single overarching national arcing, which is national data privacy policy, no? Wherein there is a legislative to that, no? A financial data, pwede rin, no, magkaroon ng mga privacy into Fair Credit Reporting Act. Yung mga regulates operation using the credit reporting bureaus, no? Yung mga may kinalaman into credit card, no? Yung mga ganyan. Fair and Accurate Credit Transactions Act allows consumer to request and obtain free credit report once a year from each of the 3 primary credit reporting companies, no? There is also a right to financial privacy, wherein to protect the financial records of financial institution customers from the unauthorized scrutiny of the government, no? Meron tayong tinatawag in the other country, Gramm-Leach-Billy Act, wherein the bank regulation that enable institution to offer investment, no, commercial, banking, and insurance services. There are 3 key rules affecting personal privacy. One is the financial privacy rule. Second is the safeguard rule and pretexting rule. Ano ba yung sinatawag nating financial privacy rule, no? Kailan ba nagiging so? This is sinasabi natin may kinalaman into finance matters natin. Kaya tinatawag natin siyang privacy rule because there is a certain financial privacy matters, no? And that could be part of that particular rule, no? Sabi natin, that could be a very sensitive information, so to protect the customers in a sensitive information, which is allowed to limit the personal information that financial institution and the other business share. So kaya yung mga company na nagpapautang, no, hindi nila pwedeng ikalat kung sino yung taong may utang unless kung walang ng court at ng law, no? Kinakailangan magkaroon ng sa taong concern para magkaroon lang ng information at makita yung mga data kung ito ay may utos ng Korte Suprema, no? Hindi po pwede yan makuha ang mga different data na yan into financial because there is a financial privacy rule. even in the Philippines, no, meron tayong financial privacy. And if we're going to read about the 1987 Constitution, we can able to follow what could be the different Bill of Rights that we have, no? Okay. Now, what could be the safeguard? Ano naman yung safeguard na sinasabi natin, no? The safeguard rule, that could be a rule to measure and protect someone, no? To prevent something undesirable. That's why you have a safeguarding, no? And that could be part of the affecting personal privacy. So pag sinabi nating safeguard, pinoprotektahan natin yung ating different activities wherein including our transactions, our personal informations, no? And those are the things that we need to protect, to safeguard those particular data that we have. Okay. Pag sinabi naman natin meron tayong tinatawag na pre-texting, no? Texting rule, no? Ang tinatawag natin pre-texting. Ano ba yung pre-texting? Giving a specified reason as well as justification, no? It could be the justified data that we have, no? And that could be the different data that we want to share, no? And opt-out policy assumes that consumers approve of companies collecting and storing their personal information, requires consumer to active opt-out and favored in data collectors. Pag opt-in policy must obtain a specific permission from consumers before collecting any data favored consumers. Health information is another thing, no? Kaya yung mga health information hindi yan pwede basta sabihin, no? May act yan, meron yung batas na hindi mo pwede, kahit nanay mo yan, ang ano mo, kinakailangan humingi mo muna ng pahintulot para malaman mo, no? Kung ano yung kanyang kalagayan in terms of health. Hindi siya pwedeng ibigay unless kung ito ay ina-allowed ng korte. Kung ito ay ina-allowed ng isang tao, no, na inallowed, binigyan kita ng authority to get and to inform me about my health conditions and the different health informations. So, sinisikret yan, no? Hindi po pwede. Now, sir, mag-asawa yung tao, well, kung nagpa-check up sila parehas, for example, at ito ay may kinalaman dun sa ano, magpapaalam yung doktor, sasabihin sa kanya na pwede ko bang sabihin sa asawa mo kung ano ang mga information na nakita ko. Hingi pa rin ng pangalan nito ng approval, no? Na po pwede mong sabihin sa kanya. Otherwise, kahit ito ay mag-asawa, no? Ito ay relative mo, ganun din, humihingi ka ng approval. No, hindi basta-basta magbibigay ng information ang hospital and doctor para sabihin yung mga health informations mo. And that could be one included in our law, no? Now, we have Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Kahit yung health insurance, maghapon ka maghihingi ng data dyan na hindi ikaw yung concern, ay bawal. Kaya ngayon, hinahanapan ka ng ano hinahanap sa'yo, no? Yung parang letter of tawag dito, approval ng isang tao na ina-allowed mo siya, no? Nakunin yung mga different results. For example, kung hindi man, kung relative mo siya, tinatanong, ano niyo po siya? Okay, nanay. O halimbawa, kung nanay mo siya, ano po siya? Kapatid po, tatay mo, halimbawa. So, nire-record nila yon na that could be, that could be the relative of this, and actually, ina-allowed ka niya because nasa iyo yung mga different documents, no? Na in-allowed sa iyo kasi nasa iyo yung resibo, nasa iyo yung tawag dito, yung request, no? Na in-apply mo before, may copy ka, ibig sabihin, nagkaroon na kayo ng agreement na ikaw ang kukuha. So that's why they are allowing you to get the different data, result data, and that could be part. Pero yung sa isang company, bibigay nila yung different health informations it's not allowed, no? Unless kung meron kang court order, kung meron kang notification na ikaw ay notify na you can get those particular informations, no? Okay. Now, in the American Recovery Reinvestment, improve the portability of continuity of the health insurance coverage, reduces fraud, waste, and abuse, simplifies an administration of health insurance. In other countries, like in America, American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, ano yun? Included strong privacy provisions for electronic health records. Wala tayo niyan dito, pero sa atin lang ay more on the data na hindi po pwedeng ibigay, no, kung kanin-kanina, and that could be part of the Bill of Rights, no, yung mga rights, no, andun na lahat yun. State of loss-related security breach notification. Over 40 states in America have enacted legislation requiring organizations to disclose security breaches, no, kasi kinakailangan nating aralin kung ano yung other country pattern, other country practices, para sa ganon, meron tayong comparison, no, or comparative study for this. Then children's personal data, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, no, websites catering to children must offer comprehensive privacy policies, notify parents, guardians about data collection practices, and receive parental consent before collecting personal information from children under 13 years old. Dito sa Pilipinas, hindi gumagamit ng ibang system, no, lalo na kung ito ay nasa graders, no, meron sila lalo na sa private na ini-inform yung magulang, no, para sa kanyang record, sa kanyang different performance in the classes, no. So inaalam, pwedeng ipaalam, no, naturally kung hindi pa siya under 13 years old. Once na nag-13 na siya, may right na siyang kasabi na ito, basta sinabi ng batas, sinabi ng korte na you are authorized, no, you will follow, no, for that, no. Family Education Rights and Privacy Act in 1974 assigns right the parents regarding the children's education records. And where the right to transfer to student, one student becomes 18 years old, no. Kaya nga minsan pag college na, dapat pag college na, mostly nanggaling ka na sa senior high, kaya na ikaw na yung nagpa-process ng mga data. Una isama yung parents mo kasi hindi na dapat na sila ay because you have enough, you are matured, you know what could be the right, you know what are the different things that we need to follow, no? Maliban na lang kung mayroong kang dinaramdam, no? Kung ikaw ay may pagproblema sa pag-iisip na kinakailangan ma-acquire mo yung common environment, no? Like for example, the ADHD children, for example, so kinakailangan accompanied by parents sometimes, no? Pero doon sila matututo to act in the normal situation of the environment. Kinakailangan nilang ma-absorb yung usual environment. That's why inahayaan na rin sila, no? Pero with guidance, no? Hindi porke pag sinabi natin hinahayaan, 18 years old, ay malaya ka na. No. Always consider the guidance of your parents, no? Whatever your guardians is, no? So kinakailangan, i-consider pa rin sila. But you are the one to take the different risks and responsibilities. So kailangan guided ka lang nila, no? Kaya huwag sasamaan loob natin. Kung halimbawa tayo sa mga magulang natin, nakikialam pa sila kahit 18 years old o 21 years old above ka na, no, okay lang yun. That could be the guidance, no? The guidance of your parents. May right pa rin sila because you are the parents. Pero into holding the data, to act as a mature person, you are the one to perform, no? Hindi na yung parents mo. Kasi yung parents mo, syempre, because of blood-related, nasasaktan din sila pag nasasaktan ka. Natutuwa sila pag natutuwa ka. Because you have a blood-related thing. So basically, that's life, no? And we need to, what are the things that we need to keep, no? Especially the data. No, yan yun. So we have to what do you call this? You have the right to secure. You have the right with the parents regarding the children's education. No, the sometimes yung decision, no, kinakailangan mo nung wisdom ng isang elder. So wala kang pupuntahan kundi yung parents mo or kaya yung kapatid mo mas matanda sa'yo because litong-lito ka sa sarili mo. Litong-lito ka sa mga bagay-bagay na hindi mo madesisyonan. And that's why you have to take those ano. And then, syempre, yung data na gusto mong mangyari, imbis na ikaw lang nakaalam, naalaman na nung relative mo kasi na-share mo na sa kanya by orally. Kung gusto mong humingi ng wisdom or humingi ng isang ano, but it could be ano lang naman, no? Wala namang masama dahil related naman kayo, no? Hindi mo naman pwede, sa kaibigan, pwede mo rin sabihin, pero once na naibigay mo na yung data na yun, orally, no? Nag-communicate ka, basically, alam niya na kung ano yung mga data. Kaya pag may nangyari sa'yo, nabanggit niya sa akin yung nagkaroon siya ng malaking problema. So the friend sometimes or the relative, sila yung nagsasabi na nagkaroon ng mga problema, no? Because on your behalf, halimbawa, may nangyari sa'yo, hindi ka na nakapagsalita or let's say, may aksidente because you're not capable to speak na. So somebody will inform, no? And that could be, no? The different data that you have, no? Pero naman siya, promise huwag mo sasabihin to kahit hanggang kamatayan, no? Yung mga ganyan, yung mga ganyang kasunduan na mag-boyfriend, no? Promise huwag mo sasabihin ito kahit hanggang kamatayan, hindi natin ipagsasabi na ganito, ganyan. Meron din sa tinagong sikreto. No? And sometimes, naikikip yun. Pero once na ito ay naging problem, ito ay naging result into certain, an answer for a tragedy, for example, an answer for the situation, basically, sa awa mo, masasabi mo na rin siguro. No? Maraming ganyan maraming ganyang cases na nabanggit na rin kasi because of your different data na naibigay mo, no? Okay. The Family Education Rights and Privacy Act assigns right to parents regarding the Children's Education Act. Okay. Establish a communication commission, regulates the government use radio of television plus the interstate communication. The Omnibus Crime Control Safe Street Act regulates interception of telephone and oral communications, has been amended by the new laws, no? Kay wiretapping, di ba? Pag sinabi ng gobyerno na kailangan pakinggan yan or yung kasi merong silang pinag-uusapan na bawal, no? Sabi natin sedition or rebellion in the government, kailangan pakinggan natin yung kanilang naging transaction para nakita malaman kung ito ay naging part ng terrorism, for example. So pwede nilang pakinggan yung basta may order ng court, no? And basically that could be the thing. And has been described procedures for electronic surveillance and collection of from foreign intelligence, no, information and communications between foreign powers and agents in the foreign powers. Electronic Communication Privacy Act protects communication transfer from sender to receiver. Now, protects communication held electronic storage. So, napoprotektahan. Pero ang sabi ko kanina, once nag-order ang court, ay kinakailangan nilang makipag-coordinate. No? Prohibits recording, dialing, routing, addressing, and signaling information without a search warrant. No? Pen register records electronic impulses to identify the numbers dialed outgoing calls. Trap and trace record originating number of incoming calls. No? Communications Assistance Law, amended by the Wiretap Act, no, and the ECPA, required the telecommunications industry to build tools into its products so the investigations could eavesdrop and intercept electronic communications. Covered emerging technologies such as wireless modems, radio-based electronic mail, and the cellular data networks. No? Yan, covered yan ng mga laws. Increase ability of the law in the USA Patriot Act, yung tinatawag nila, enforcement agencies to search telephone, email, medical, financial, and other records. Critics argue law removed by many checks and the balances that ensures law enforcement did not abuse its power. Kaya dito sa Pilipinas, ang practice naman dito, pag halimbawa meron kang pagkakautang sa credit card, no? Lahat ng in-applyan mo, kung ikaw ay merong outstanding balance na hindi mo nababayaran, no? Naging ano na yan. So lahat yan, yung credit capability mo, credit performance mo affected na because of one data transactions ng credit card. There is a credit card cooperation, no? Kaya pag nasira ka sa isang credit card, asahan mo, sira ka rin dun sa kabila. Kaya you have to maintain your credit card regularly. Keep, tawag dito, bayaran yung dapat bayaran kasi inutang mo yan. No, iba kala, credit card babayaran, kala nila libre kasi nakagoyo ka. No. Babayaran mo rin yun kasi mag-i-interest yun. And besides, talo ka kasi mag-i-interest. So that's why, akala mo enjoy mong ginagamit ng credit card, but usually, nagkakaroon niya ng interest pag hindi mo nabayaran on the ample time. So you should monitor your financial capabilities. No? Okay, now, we have the Organization for Economic Cooperation, Development Information, set of 8 principles, the model ethical treatment, consumer data. Like in the European, iba naman, European Union Data Protection Directive. Meron silang requires companies doing business within the border of 15 European countries. No? And to implement the set of privacy directed and fair and appropriate use of information. Pag ang European countries, no? Isang European country ang magsabi sa iyo ng data na ganito, pasok na yan sa 15 European countries. Kaya kung may record ka sa isang European country, maasahan mo, makikita na rin nila yung record mo doon. And that could be the data that we're trying to, because some of the data software and systems link, nagli-link sila, no? And there is an appropriate use of information. May mga boundaries pa rin yan, no? Okay. Wait lang may nagko-call lang. Wait lang for a while. Hindi ko alam kaninong call to. Nawala, iyaan mo siya. Storbo yung call na yan. Okay. Now, the goal of ensure data transferred to non-European countries is protected. Siyempre, pag hindi non-European, hindi na nila pwede ibigay yung mga data mo. It's another story. Based on the 7 principle of data privacy, concerned the U.S. government can invoke USA Patriot Act to access the data. No, pwede nilang malaman. Kaya, yung database ng bawat country, kaya nakikita yan. Kung ikaw ay nag-apply ng ganito, makikita nila yung mga different data na yan. No? Nag-apply ka ng visa, ikaw ay may visa from the other country, so nakikita nila yan. No? BB Online and Trust, independent initiative that favor industry-regulated approach to data privacy. The BB Online Reliability Seal, or a trust, is a data privacy seal demonstrate that website adheres to high level of data privacy. Seals is important, increase consumer confidence insight, help user make more informed decisions about whether to release personal information. And this is an example of the BB Online Reliability Program. Seal, no? Ito yung seal nila. And that could be in the juststrings.com permission. No? Access to the government records, Freedom of Information Act, the grants citizens of the right to access certain information and records of the government upon request. Exemption bar disclosure of information that could compromise national security, interfere the active law and enforcement investigation, and invade someone's privacy. The access to government records, the Privacy Act, prohibits government agencies from concealing the existence of any personal data and record keeping. So, parang ang katumbas nito sa atin ay yung nating national ID. Yung national ID, one access, makikita na lahat kung ano yung iyong mga personal data na meron ka. And that's why the government imposed the national ID objectives, no? And that could be part of this. Outline 12's requirement that each record-keeping agency must keep. CIA and law enforcement agencies are excluded from the Act and does not cover actions of private industry. The key privacy and anonymity issues are identity theft, no? Electronic discovery, consumer profiling, treating customer data responsibility, workplace monitoring, and advanced surveillance technology. What is identity theft? This theft of key pieces, no, of personal information to impersonate a person. Ano ba yung mga in-impersonate sa kanya? Siyempre, name, address, date of birth, social security system, no, yung SS number, passport number, driver's license number, and mother's maiden name. Yan yung mga importante data na hindi natin pwedeng ibigay kung kani-kanino. Okay? Kasi bakit? Ma-access nila lahat ng different informations mo. You should be very careful, no, to give the different data and be sure if the company advising us that you need the informations, dapat meron silang Privacy Act doon, no? Kasi sinasabi na you are conforming to that particular act, no? The fastest growing from the form of fraud, even in the United States, nangyayari yan. Consumers and organizations are becoming more vigilant and proactive in fighting identity theft, no? 4 approaches used by identity thieves, like create a data breach, purchase personal data, use phishing to entice user to give up data, install spyware to capture keystroke of victims. Data breaches of a large databases are to gain personal identity information. No? Okay, may be caused by hackers, failure to follow proper security procedures. The purchase of the personal data, binibili rin yun, ano? Binabayaran na in the black market or maybe in the credit card. No? That could be in the United States, meron silang 40 cents each, no? Ang bayaran. Log-on name of PIN of bank account is $10. Identity information including the address, no? The SSN, the telephone number for about $1 to $5, no? Phishing. Pag sinabi na natin phishing, ano ito? Stealing personal identity data by tricking users into entering information on a counterfeit website. So ang dami dito, no? Phishing. Sinasabi, minsan gumagamit ng logo sa internet. Sabihin na yung kailangan mong na bank account na ganito, mag-reply ka, otherwise pag nag-reply ka, yun, huli ka na nila na phishing ka. Okay? So wag kang mag-response. Tingnan niyo lagi yung kanilang link. Kasi kung hindi siya legit, makikita mo gumagamit siya ng ibang link, no? Hindi siya kikita mo kunyari nakita mo may logo lang ako. Meron ako nakikita, nanalo ka sa ganito, you have to receive your money for about 10,000 pesos. No, nanalo ka sa Shell, nanalo ka, meron ka, hindi ka naman sumali sa raffle, isipin mo naman, ba't ka mananalo? So, nafi-phishing ka. So, you have to be very careful on this. No? Even in the Philippines, there are so many websites na talagang hindi mga legit. So, okay, magpaloko doon. Okay, mga IT kayo, dapat alam niyo kung ano yung makikita nyo using the correct links. No? Yung legit yung link niya. Hindi po pwedeng gumagamit siya ng ibang link, lalo na kung ito sasabihin niya, bangko siya, Jollibee siya, no? May sinasabi siyang ganyan-ganyan, pero pag tinignan mo may ibang link. Do not open Otherwise, kinapture niya na yung mga informations mo. Kung wala siyang makukuha sa'yo, gagamitin niya yung data mo. That's the other thing. Sabi natin, nabebenta ang data. Be very careful, no, sa ganyang mga actions, no? Spyware, keystroke logging software enables to capture of account username, passwords, credit card numbers, other sensitive information. Yan, mga problema. May isa akong story, isa kong friend, very eager na mag-apply into other country in Canada, no? And marami na siyang attempts na nag-apply pero walang response. One day, may nag-response sa kanya, no? Ang sabi sa kanya, nagulat siya kasi gabi tumawag sa kanya. Siyempre, unang niyang inisip, gabi ako tinawagan. So, kasi sabi na umaga daw doon sa area nila. So, sa Canada, umaga doon, gabi dito. Naturally, parang pasok sa banga. Okay ito Parang tama ito sabi niya. E di ganun na, inisip lang niya na gano'n. And then, usap sila about may plano ka palang mag-apply. And then, yung pag-conversation nila is lang, no? Slang daw yung nagsasalita, Canadian accent. Wala na naman siya, may point na naman. Tama ito Sabi, parang sinagot na yata ang prayers ko na may Canada. And then, pangatlong validity niya, babae. So parang, babae hindi gagawa ng ganitong kalokohan. Parang gano'n, no? Who knows? Babae, lalaki, parehas lang ginagawang kalokohan yan. No? So, basically, may mga gano'n siyang iniisip, no? And besides, sabi niya, and then sabi sa kanya, sige, sir, if you want, sige, we will find out your different, tawag dito, ano ba ito, yung kanilang application, your application, we will find out what could be the soonest or possible months na pwede mong And then, okay, I will call you later. Sabi na tumawag na ulit. Pagkatapos ng 2 days yata, gabi na naman. Siya na naman ulit, tumawag ulit. And then, sabi sa kanya, okay, I already processed your paper. So, sabi niya, kailangan magbayad ka na kasi mayroong processing fee. So, sabi, how much? Dollar, ganito daw. And in peso, ganito. Paano ko babayaran? Yun yung kanilang naging usapan. Sabi niya, by credit card. Okay. So, i-type mo lang yung credit card number mo dyan. And then, pati yung yung kanyang secret dun sa likod, yung number dun sa likod, yung code. Naku, na-type niya. Na-type niya yung record. Yung dun sa and then, pag-type niya, ayun na. Sabi niya sa akin nung nabudol-budol yata ako. Hindi, gawin mo. Tawagan mo kaagad ang bangko mo at sabihin mo na itinakat mo yan. So, binerify niya kaagad dun sa bangko. Nakita niya may mga attempts na 3 attempts pero hindi naka-withdraw because kulang, insufficient ang fund. No? Meron na pala siyang nagastos. Kaya basically, hindi magkaroon ng 100% accomplishment and objectives ng isang na yun. And then, yun, ibig sabihin, sabi ng bangko, huwag po kayo nagbibigay ng mga numbers ninyo kasi po, hindi po humihingi ang bangko, ang anuman ng bangko ng mga passcode, yung mga SBN number nyo, yung mga ganyan. So, hindi po sila humihingi. Kaya hindi po mga phishing, po yan, no? So, that is a very sad story. Kasi, kung yan ay nangyayari, so basically, maaaring nangyayari din sa iba, naturally. Okay. So, identify theft monitoring services, monitor 3 major credit reporting agencies, like TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
Hello, hello.
Hello, andyan pa kayo? Naglag ako ah. Hello?
Hello po, sir. Nandito
Yeah.
pa po.
Okay, sige, very good. Naglag ako, naglag yung aking system. So, sige. So, let's continue. Layo ko na eh. Okay, so, kanina nag-story ako, di ba? So, electronic discovery, collection, preparation, review, and production of electronically stored information used criminal and civil actions, no? Quite likely, the information of the private and personal nature will be disclosed during e-discovery. The rules and the procedure of defining discovery processes and complicated requires extensive to collect, prepare, and review data. Raises many ethical issues like, should the organization attempt to destroy or conceal incriminating evidence? To what degree must organization be proactive and through the providing evidence? Should an organization attempt to bury incriminating evidence in a mountain or trivial routine data? Consumer profiling, companies openly collect personal information in the internet users, no? Like in cookies, text file. Yes.
Interrupt po. Hindi po kayo naka-share screen.
Hindi. Sorry. Thank you. Nawala talaga. Nawala yung... Oo nga, ano? Yan. Okay, yun yung nabanggit ko kanina, no? Cookies, no? Text file in the website can download to visitors' hard drive so that I can identify the visitors later. Tracking software analyzes browsing habits, and similar controversial methods are used outside by the web environment. Aggregating consumer data, databases contain a huge amount of consumer behavioral data. Affiliated websites are observed in a single advertising network. Collecting data from website visits, the goal is to provide customized service on each consumer. So what are the types of data collected? Get data, post data, and clickstream data. Okay. Now, the way to limit the deposit and the cookies on the hard drive, set the browser to limit the stop cookies, manually delete from the hard drive, download and install cookie management program, and use anonymous browsing programs. No, don't accept cookies. Personalization software used by marketers to optimize the number, frequency, and mixture of the placement. Rules-based, collaborative filtering, demographic filtering, and contextual commerce. Consumer data privacy, platform to privacy preferences, no? Or shield user sites to provide level of privacy protection desired, and treating of consumer data responsibility. There are strong measures are required to avoid relationships problems. Like in the companies should adopt fair information practices and the privacy guidelines, no? In the Commission of Responsible for Protecting Privacy for Consumers, no? And chief privacy officers includes the executive to oversee data policy and initiatives. Now we have the manager's checklist, treating consumer data responsibility. Ano ba to? So this is taken from the book, See Engaged Learning. These are the checklist of the manager's consumer data responsibility. Pwede niyang itanong, does your company have a written data privacy policy that is followed? Can consumer easily view your data privacy policy? Are consumers given opportunity to opt in or to opt out your data policy? Do you collect any of the personal information needed to deliver your product or service? Do you ensure the information carefully protected and accessible only for those who need to know? Do you provide process of consumer to review data and make corrections? Do you inform your customers if you intend to use the information to research marketing and provide means and them opt out? And have you identified the person who has full responsibility for implementing your data policy and dealing with the consumer data issues? No? Okay. So those are the different questions that could be the managers wants to apply the different consumer data response, no? And that could be part of the responsibility of the manager in one organization or one industry. The workplace monitoring, employers monitors worker, protect against employees abuses, reduce work productivity, or expose employer to harassment lawsuits, and cannot be used a limit of private employer treats as the employees. The public sector employees have a greater privacy right in the private industry. And the privacy advocates wants federal legislation and keeps from infringing upon privacy rights and employers. What are the advanced surveillance technology that we need to apply on? No? Camera surveillance, very familiar. No, nagano sila ng camera. Many cities plan and expand surveillance system. Advocates argue people have no expectation of privacy in a public place. Critics concerned about potential for abuse. No? GPS is another thing. Global positioning system, wherein it is a chip but placed in many devices, precisely locate users, and applied into different establishments like banks, retailers, airlines, eager to launch a new services based on the knowledge of consumer location. Now, what could be the summary? These are the summary that we know that we discussed on the previous topics and matters. So, law technical solutions, privacy policies, no, balance needs against rights and consumer. A number of laws have been enacted affect persons' privacy, and particularly financial health records, protection, following security breach, children personal data, electronic surveillance, personal data access government records. No? Identity theft as fastest growing form of fraud, e-discovery, website collect personal data, consumer data privacy, code of fair information practices, employees monitor to maintain employees' productivity, and advanced information technology, the new gathering capabilities in order to have individual privacy, like applying the surveillance cams and the GPS systems. Okay. For your activity, you have to answer the activity number 5, no? Wherein you will put this in your G drive, no? So ano lang yan, parang identification, no, using that particular, and you will answer the case study number 1. Now, pakibago na lang, that could be 1. Wala pa kayo ng 1, hindi nyo pa nagawa kasi because we have at a time. Ito na lang gagawin natin 1. Gagawin ko na lang 2 yung susunod. No? This is your case study 1. This is about the dubious methods used to investigate leaks in the Hewlett-Packard board members. Kindly read this scenario, kindly read and answer the following questions, no? By in identifying into your in your activity number 4. Okay? By next meeting, you have a midterm exam from cover to cover, chapter 1 up to chapter 4. So I will pause the exam on our specific time. Okay? So Friday yan, Friday din tayo mag-exam. And I will pause the number of hours that you need to answer. So nandun na sa Friday sasabihin ko. Okay, that could be your our activity this morning. Do you have any question?
Sir,
Sige, go ahead.
Clarification lang po doon sa case study. May last meeting po, nag-asynchronous po tayo. May case study 1 na po kayong binigay sa...
Ba? O sige, nagkamali lang ako. Okay, sige, hindi ko nakakala. Sige, case number 2 na pala yan. Kasi marami tayong cases sa laws, no? Ethics and laws. Marami yan. So you have to answer the case study number 2 na yan. Sorry for that. Hindi ko na-remember, no? That could be your case study number 2. Correction. Ayun, case study number 2 na tayo dyan. So, and then plus your midterm exam by next meeting.
When po ang due ng case study 2?
Ang case study natin ay 1 week. Sa 1 week in 1 week, saan nyo lang ilalagay siya sa ating G Drive. Kung merong mag-answer na wala pang 1 week, much better. Ngayon, yung ating exam, ipopost ko yung exam. Kailangan ready na kayo ng mga 8:30 sa Friday. I will post the exam at exactly mga ganong oras. May bibigyan ko naman kayo ng time to and then may specific time tayo kung how many hours nyo siyang isi-send pagkatapos nyo isi-send nyo sa akin sa G Drive, no? G Drive din. Meron kang folder doon sa G Drive mo, or kaya if you want to have a separate G Drive, pwede rin for the midterm exam. Sige, gusto nyo kung ganun, okay lang din. It's para gawin mo na yung inyong G Drive, or kung G Drive na yun, meron lang kayong folder doon na midterm, andun na lahat. Doon ko na makikita yung mga exams ninyo, yung mga sagot. Remember sa Google, naka-record lahat kung kailan nyo na-transmit yung inyong mga ginawa. Okay, that's all. So, if ever na may mga problems during the exam, notify me. I will change your exam sa susunod. We have set A, set B, set C. So titingnan natin kung ano yung possible. Kung hindi ka makakasunod dun sa exam ninyo, probably I will change your exam. Ganun lang. Okay? Sige. So let's have the checking of the attendance. By this time, kindly open your camera. For those who have camera, please open. For the students that doesn't have any camera, please notify please notify me. You have some issues on the camera. I will allow you to what they call this, to credit your attendance. Okay, katulad ni Marwar, noted. Julio, noted. Benitez, Hernandez, Beato. Shout out ako sa kanila, Patralo. Shout out ko na, Valdez. Wala silang kami. Okay lang yun. Natatawa si Cortez. Ako, ayan, shout-out ko rin si Cortez. Ang ganda ng tao ni Cortez, natatawa, tsaka si Banikel. Shout-out ulit. Oh, si Asilo, natatawa rin. Oh, sige. So, shout-out ko na yung mga pangalan ninyo. Nakikita ko kayo sa screen. Okay. Ano ba to? Mayroong, yeah, that's, nasabi ko na nga pala yung ano. Tama. Sige, so far we have, dumami na, 42 students, including myself in 42. It means there are 41 students present on this session. So, good attendance. Yeah. So, I will download the attendance right now. Miss Vivian will help me do the screenshot. Vivian, bigyan mo sila ng ano para may best smile sila. So, sige. So, bigyan mo sila ng time. Magbigay ka ng cue para lahat sila ay ngingiti ng maganda at sa magandang umaga. No? Okay, sige. I will download the attendance. Wala nang hahabol because this is a final attendance. Okay? Now. Okay, the attendance is already downloaded. Sige. So, Vivian, it's your turn.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay na po, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vivian. You may turn off your camera now. Okay. Sige, so please do your activity. I monitor the activity regularly. I will grade your activity, your performance into our G Drive. That's the only thing to grade, to have a good grade. Yung inyong performance into G Drive. Yun lang ang ating checking of measurement. No? Kinakailangan, doon ako titingin para magkaroon kayo ng magandang grade. So please cooperate to answer your G Drive. Kung meron kayong hindi na-answeran ng mga activities, please do so. Kasi hindi kayo magkakagrade pag wala kayong mga activity performance doon. No? Kahit yan, sir, late na po kasi kami masyado, okay lang kesa sa wala. Pero siyempre, iba yung nagpasa nung on time. Mas may grade na mataas yun. Kesa dun sa hindi nagpapasa ng on time. So, habang nababawasan na yung time, nababawasan na rin yung grade mo. Kaya i-follow ninyo yung ating deadline kasi minomonitor ko yung inyong deadline of activities. Ha? Okay, sige. So, kanina yung mga nag-recite, may mga plus sila lahat kasi tinanong ko sila ng what could be. So, ganoon tayo kasi yung ibang klase ko talaga ay nag-recitation kami. Kaya lang sa inyo, hindi ko minsan magawa kasi meron tayo, inahabol natin yung oras eh. Kasi na-late na nga tayo no, but I'm glad na at least nakaka-move on na tayo. Nakakalahati na tayo ng topic. So, I'm so glad kasi medyo bumibilis na kesa sa wala. No? Sige, so that's it. Okay? So see you. Keep safe. Keep always healthy. God bless you all. Ano yun? 10 Q po, sir. Ano yun? Hindi ko naintindihan. Sorry, Banikad, ano yun?
Thank you po, sir.
Ate. Sorry. Thank you pala. Wala, tuloy ako. Akala ko may tinatanong siya. 10. Okay. Sige, pasensya na, no? Na-thunders na ako. Cortez. Cortez, sinawanan ako, ha? Okay. Sige. Sino ba yung vlogger last time na nakausap ko? Magaling yun, ha? Sino ba yun? Si Cortez ba yun? O si Jericho? Thank you po, Asilo, sir. Kasi may nag-recite last time, naalala ko mayroong vlogger dito ano. So, I forgot. I jot down his name kaya lang hindi ko dala yung
Si Gio po ayon, sir.
Sino?
Si Gio po ata.
Gio. Gio. Okay. Sige. So, see you by next meeting. Bye.
Thank you po, sir.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank you
po.
po, sir.
TYS.
Sir.
Sige. Ingat kayo.
Salamat po, sir.
Okay.